Okay, right here you can see that this joist here is supposed to be sitting in a pocket in a mortise and tenon type, and the staircase was so heavy that it pushed this down and this rotted out. Might have had a little bit of a termite damage issue here. Anyways, this is supposed to be touching up here, and there's a clear gap right here, at least 2 inches in the back. And it looks like the other two are okay, but I'm still going to put a beam underneath all of them. It's supposed to look like this. This is your typical mortise and tenon on an older style house. They have the beam here and a pocket, and this is cut in and goes in there. But again, like I said, I'm just going to put a beam in here, and I now notice that there's a big hole. Man, it's big. It's a big hole in my heating vent down here. I'm going to have to fix before I button up the crawl space. Otherwise, I won't have any heat down here. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. I'm going to find a good place to set this camera so you can have a long video. Well, hello and welcome to my crawl space. Again, I've already got this cleaned up. My battery's actually died on my camera, so I don't know how much of the cleanup process you actually saw. I'm only cleaning up the area that I'm working in. There's still a few bricks and stuff in here, but I've actually hired this out. I've got a contractor going to come and clean up the all the filth in my crawl space. I'm going to focus on the more expensive, harder things to do, since it's only me fixing up this house, me and whatever contractors I can hire, and trying to save every penny we can. So again, I've got to put down some sand and make it perfectly level to hold my concrete stone here. I'm going to build cinder blocks up, something to hold the beam in place here to give this some more strength than what it actually has. I'm also going to build off of the patio stone. I'm going to put a block of wood down here, make it level as well, the place to put my jack to push up into the beam to bring this up to where it should be. And then I'm going to fasten it all up so you guys get to see all of that. Hopefully my camera battery lasts a little bit longer this time. So I'm going to get started here, and I will speed this up for you because it's going to be boring. A lot of weird noises coming from me because I got to scoot around. Okay, everybody, just a word of caution. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'm hoping you can hear me. I don't know how well the camera works. This is only my second video with it. Make sure you know what you're doing when you lift a house. I have almost 20 years experience in remodeling old farmhouses. So I'm going to lift this up. This can let go. This house could fall down on me. It's a possibility. Make sure you know what you're doing. Make sure you know you're lifting good lumber and it's not termite eaten or rotten. It will come down. Make sure everything is perfectly level, jacks are plumb, or your house will come down. Again, just don't, I would even say don't even try it. Hire a professional, but just make sure you know what you're doing, and don't just go and say, hey, I'm going to lift up a house or a staircase today, and then you have 5,000 pound staircase sitting on your crawl space, which most likely is not fun. Okay, and again, before you come down into a crawl space, make sure you have everything you need. Obviously, I didn't have my 2x4s. I'm going to show you what those are for here in a minute. And then it turned out I needed to lift the jacks up a little bit higher. Otherwise, my jacks won't be long enough. I'm going to screw these to the side of the beam, and then I'm going to run some screws through this into the floor joists up here. So once I get this snug, we'll run screws in that just so this thing won't fall down on my face when I start applying pressure and really start to lift this. Otherwise, this thing will shoot out and come down. And just this right here smacking me in my head, it doesn't feel very good. I've had it happen once. So now I make sure I do that. Also, make sure whenever you bring down a power tool, you've got a decent charge on your battery. You don't want to come down here with a dead battery like I did with my camera. So let's get going again. Okay, this is where you're going to start seeing this go up. Hopefully this one goes up about another 1.5 to 2 inches. I'm going to bring it up until it touches that floorboard up there. Then I'm going to stop because the back does not need to go up like the front. The front needs some serious lifting. The back, just this one, looks like it's the only bad one. But still, I'm putting this entire beam in just to be safe. So I got the 2x4 fastened back here, and now up we go. Okay, I would be lying if I didn't say this was scary. I have this beam in places I'm going to put it. They're still down a little low, but I'm okay with that. This is a 1900 or actually 1875 house. It's got some age to it, so floors that are just a little off are accepted. This floor is, if I lift it up any higher, I'm going to create damage to the plaster and to the walls. So this is about where I want it to be. I'm going to check my beam for level. I'm just a hair off, which I knew I would be, but now I'm going to put in the piers so you guys get to see how that goes. I use composite shims. Make sure you use composite if you're doing something that's structural. The skinny wood or the cedar shims will compress, and you'll lose whatever you've gained in your lift. Also, I should note, when using shims, you can see that one side's wider than the other. You want to come through and put your shims in this way, so we're on a flat, or as flat as can be, playing field. Again, composite shims, wood shims are used for doors and windows. Composite shims are for wet locations or structural lifts. Okay, do the Okay, I'm going to let these jacks down. You'll see this beam will come down, and you'll probably see this settle over. Normal. It happens. Okay? Now we say a little prayer, but nobody dies. Slowly, slowly. This is not sped up. Okay? Scary. There's one more thing I want to show you. I don't need to be that close into the camera, but when you're lifting your joists, you should make sure you put yourself some blocking. You see, I took it for granted that the joists were in these pockets, but I forgot that this one joist right here, when I went to lift, was not in that pocket, but it was actually either termite eaten or rotten off. So I'll show you a side view of what I'm looking at. This should be straight up and down. See, it's kind of kicked out. So what I'm going to wind up doing is putting a 2x8 in here, and on the other side, put in some blocking. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. You guys might bounce. I don't have a good place to put you without you feeling a hammer. Because I'm going to put this here, I'm going to smack it with a hammer, and that's going to make your camera bounce. So, sorry. There's one piece of blocking. I'm going to do the same piece of blocking underneath the staircase, but we're not going to have a good view, so I'm not going to show that. But there'll be a piece of blocking directly on the other side of that joist, and on the other side of that joist, on the other side of that joist, until I'm comfortable with it. You can see that they do have some old-timey blocking over here at the crisscross oak. That's good, but it's not enough. So now we're going to lift the front of the staircase, which I said is a lot more work. So let's do that. Okay, as you can see, we want to bring this up. I set a level mark over there and all the way over there. And there's what? To the string here, here to here. Look at this whole camera in there, probably 2 inches. This is a action camera, so it's tiny. So I want to lift these jacks so that touches that. If I don't feel comfortable, I will stop jacking. If I feel like it's too much, if I start cracking my plaster, I will stop lifting this floor, and I will be happy with what I get. So up we go. Please say a prayer for me. Okay, onto my comfort point on lifting this. I'll just bring it down here so you can see this. I'm starting to hear snap, crackle, pop upstairs. So it means we're starting to move structure upstairs, and I don't want to disturb or mess that up that much. Not that bad. So we'll bring it down here and you can see that. See the string. We are about 1 inch. This right here would make it perfectly level. But now I'm 1 inch off over about 13 feet. So 1 inch over 13 feet isn't bad. So I'm going to actually lower my joist here that I set in 1 inch. So we'll be level on this side and we'll be level on that side, but we'll be off level from 1 inch from way over there to way over here. So when we're setting down, it won't even be noticeable. So, okay, I'm going to set my piers. All right, and there's your beam. Composite shims, cinder blocks, patio stones. This will hold this up for a very long time. Yeah, I'll be well dead and gone before this fails. I may have to come down here in about a year or two after it settles some more and lift this up after I have the floor in. That's a fun experience, but it always settles, and you always have to do that after a year or so. But after that, be solid as a rock. All right, and that's it. Thank you. I'm Jay, Footsteps in the Past, and this is my my old farmhouse. Thanks. Have a great day.